Hey guys, AGYT Abbott here, and welcome back to another movie review. It's been a bit, but I'm gonna have some movie reviews coming on through this week. We got our first one here, Cruella. We got Quiet Place Part 2, Army of the Dead, Spiral, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. But yes, we have Cruella here today. If you haven't seen Cruella. I'm sorry if I say her name real fast. It sounds weird. If you haven't seen the film, then this review will contain some serious spoilers. Yeah, Cruella DeVille gets her very own solo film. Wow, that's cool. Um, when I was watching this film, I never really wondered how this would contend uh to Quiet Place Part 2 because I saw Quiet Place Part 2 in theaters, and then when I got home, I watched Cruella. So, it's kind of like comparing a cat and a dog here, because you have two very character-driven stories. I'm not going to say anything about Quiet Place Part 2, but this is, I hardly ever struggle really picking over certain films like these, the character-driven films, but here I have a hard time because Cruella is a fun watch. It is such a fun watch. Emma Stone and Emma Thompson absolutely kill it in the role here. Um, whether they're having their fashion off or they're just throwing back snarky comments to each other, it works. It really, really works. Also, you have the addition of Horace and Jasper. They were nice. You get some world building with Anita and oh my gosh, what was the guy's name? The main guy from 101 Dalmatians. You guys will know. To be honest, I've watched 101 Dalmatians before when I was very young, and I also had watched the Glenn Close version, where Glenn Close is playing Cruella. I saw that version, both of those, I think, when I was young, once again. So, I mean, the closest tie I ever had to really Cruella would be like The Parent Trap. But I still ended up loving this film. Now, would I say it's a perfect film? No. Uh, there are things about it that kind of strike a few nerves in me. Not like that, but you know what I mean. It's like, I'm not really sure this is how we're supposed to be doing this. Cruella is supposed to be hating dogs, right? Or hating Dalmatians, at least, right? But it kind of doesn't go that direction, really. She has Dalmatians for a good portion of the film, and she is nice to them, and they listen to her. Honestly, the only thing she's nice to this film is dogs. I mean, she's nice to Jasper and Horace sometimes. When she is Estella, she is nice. When she's Cruella, she is an absolute dick to Horace and Jasper. Um, and unfortunately, I found myself kind of not wanting to root for her anymore, as she was starting to just, you know, go into crazy town. Although, this isn't exactly the best villain to be rooting for as your title character for a film, you know? I mean, she takes dogs, takes Dalmatians, and uses their fur to make coats. Sounds like a great person to fall in line with, right? I don't know, it doesn't resonate with me as much as, I don't know, I guess the director who thought Cruella was misunderstood. Like, we don't have to make all the villains misunderstood, you know? And people were comparing this film to Joker. It's not like Joker. It has lots of similar themes to Joker, but Joker was played as a tragic event. This man that has went through a lot in his life, finally cracking down because of, the pressures of society. Here, we're just kind of painting Cruella as this punk rocker who believes being a villain is better than just falling in line with what others think she's supposed to be. Which I guess you could say is something like Joker, but it is definitely played off a different way in Cruella than in Joker. Um, Whereas Cruella is, like I said, when she's Estella at the beginning, she's great. She's a very likable, charming woman. And as Cruella, I mean, I still liked it because I like the accent, I like the evil overtones, just her slow descension into becoming, not only just wanting to steal the spotlight from the Baroness, which is played by Emma Thompson, but just becoming a villain overall and taking back what's hers. So at the beginning of the film, we see Cruella as a little kid, and we witness the death of her mother because it wouldn't be a Disney film without a mother death. And Cruella kind of, ah, she kind of causes the death of her mother. Um, the Dalmatians, sick on Cruella as she's disrupting this party held by the Baroness. Mark Strong's character is there. He was a nice addition to this. He catches Cruella, and then the dogs are sick on her. She runs out, and then it's revealed that the whistle is being called onto her mother. And the Dalmatians ram into the mother, and she falls off this balcony into the waters below, and she's dead. Now, there's a twist later on. I say twist, but it wasn't for me. There's a twist later on where it's like Cruella discovers that the Baroness is the person who blew the whistle for the dogs to attack her mom. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a reveal for all of us or a reveal for Cruella, but I had already noticed that Emma Thompson's character was there, and she was the one that the mom was talking to, and she was the one that blew the whistle. Um, so it wasn't much of a reveal to me as much as it just was to Cruella. I don't know how, I don't know. It depends on how the director wanted that scene to go, whether it was going to be a reveal for us or her, but I'm just for me, it was just a reveal to her because I already knew. Um, there are some things that kind of bug me in this film, like there's certain conveniences, like Horace and mainly Horace. He dresses up in a bunch of different costumes for this film to, sneak around the Baroness's place and the just different places. And the fact is, um when the Baroness finds out Cruella designed this dress that's in the window of this shop. By the way, I loved the shop owner guy. He was hilarious. She does see that she's being arrested with Jasper and Horace, So she knows who Horace looks like, and later on, she kind of, like, he's all over the place. And, like, her guards are there, like, wouldn't they know who Horace looks like? And, I mean, a hat does not fool them, let's be honest. Come on now. I don't know, he just got away with way too much. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but one thing that was really, really enjoyable was the dogs, Wink and Buddy. They were good. Nice additions to the film. We get a character called Artie, who is kind of Cruella's artistic friend who ends up helping her near the end with her big master plan. But basically, Cruella starts the film saying that this necklace is the reason that she's dead. Now, originally I was thinking, is she narrating, like, from her own funeral after she's faked her death or something? I mean, that's what I immediately thought, right? And she was. She actually was at her funeral for her own death. Cruella fakes her death after the Baroness set their place on fire. I was glad to see the dogs made it out of there. But yeah, this film is edgy, man. There is literally dialogue that's like, "I'm going to kill you and your dogs." And there's also a reference to the fact that the Baroness has killed people before. And the fact that she just wants to burn down the house with the dogs in it. And there is a slight joke where it seems like Cruella has made coats out of the Baroness, the Dalmatians, but she reveals that she didn't to Artie, and we see that the Dalmatians are okay. The costume design in this is incredible. Okay, it's yeah, the costume design needs to get something. Please, a nomination for the Oscars. I pray to God. It really really shows all the love that was put into this film. Um, to me. And there's a bunch of different dresses. Like there's one that like is like she gets dumped out of a trash compactor thing, out of the back of a trash truck, garbage truck. um, and she comes out there and she's got the dress dragging along with her. That was fun. We get a lot of music in this as well. There's a lot of really good music. I'm not sure how many songs were in it, but it was a lot. I'll definitely be buying a soundtrack if they come out with it. For the songs used in this, the nice classic songs, some songs that you wouldn't really think of initially, and then when you hear them, you're like, that goes really well with this film and the premise. But what else am I missing? Oh yes, right. So Cruella fakes her death. She gets Jasper and Horace out of jail, which didn't make sense as well because like they tied Jasper and Horace up, and they're like frame them for Cruella's murder, and then they're like, oh no, they're going to jail, but they were around there with the flame. I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me. But anyway, Artie starts getting these wigs together and starts sending out invitations to partygoers going to the Baroness's big party, telling them to wear these clothes in memory of Cruella. And so they all go to the party, and everyone at the party is pretty much dressed up like Cruella, except for like a few people. They've all got these Cruella wigs on in the black and white style. You know her thing. Um, the Baroness is like, oh God, I know she's here. But what the Baroness wasn't expecting is that Cruella is her daughter, and Cruella wasn't expecting that either. I was not accepting that or I was accepting it. Sorry, I was not expecting that twist. I, for some reason, I thought like it was gonna be a reveal like Mark Strong was the father, because we saw like a quick second of Mark Strong and the mom character talking at the beginning of the film, and it seemed like he was like begging him for money or whatever. But no, she was begging the Baroness, and the Baroness has a way of dealing with people. She was like, after the mom fell off, she was like, oh my gosh, she was trying to steal like money. She was demanding me for money. So here we get the final showdown: Cruella versus the Baroness. Baroness is walking up to Cruella. Cruella reveals that she is the daughter of the Baroness. That was a great reveal. The Baroness is shocked, obviously, but the Baroness nonetheless doesn't give a shit, tries pushing Cruella off of the balcony, and succeeds as well. But what the Baroness didn't know is that meanwhile Artie, Jasper, Horace, they were all telling the partygoers that the Baroness requested their presence out on the balcony. So everyone goes out on the balcony. They're awfully quiet for a large crowd of people that have most likely been drinking and are all high class, going ah ha ha ha. But somehow the Baroness doesn't notice, pushes Cruella off, and everyone sees the Baroness supposedly committing murder. So they lock the Baroness up, and that's when Cruella reveals that she is alive. She sewed a parachute into her skirt. That was a good touch. And she gets back up, and of course, since she is the daughter of the Baroness, she, um, she actually gets to inherit the mansion. So it paid off. Basically, if you're wondering also, sorry, I didn't explain how the Baroness is her mother. The Baroness had a kid. She didn't want it, so she told Mark Strong to get rid of it. And I guess she wanted him to kill it, which is just shows even more how fucked up this villain is. I love it. Um, he gives the baby away to the mother character that Cruella has known as her mother for all this time, and now it's come full circle where Cruella is taking the mansion and all of that from the Baroness, and she even renames the thing, of course, Hell Hall, if you will remember that from the animated thing. It was Hellman Hall, and then she changed it to Hell Hall. And the film ended like I thought it would. It would just she was gonna get the mansion, and she was gonna be like, okay, I have some plans. It's like let's get to it. And there was a mid-credit scene actually where she gives away Pongo. I guess it was Pongo and Perdita. She gives away the two Dalmatians that we know and love to to the owners that we know from the animated version. That was a nice touch and a nice little world building thing there. That was cool. But overall, I will give Cruella a 9. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a fun watch, and honestly, I'm gonna still be sitting here racking my brain for a few days, wondering, is Quiet Place 2 better, or is it Cruella? We'll have to see. I might do a video on that, or a live stream, but thanks so much for watching regardless. Let me know what you thought of Cruella. If you haven't seen it, go watch it now. I highly request it. And take care, guys. See ya.